Good afternoon and welcome to spring training. Obviously, Bochy and I are here to answer questions. Before we do, just a quick, very short medical update. Obviously, Josh Spores, he has gotten a favorable report from the surgeon, so he can begin some light plyometric work as part of his throwing progression, so we're excited with that. And then the only other one was Robert Garcia is going to be held out of bullpens for the next few days. He'll play catch tomorrow, but he's got a little bit of nerve irritation. He saw Dr. Meister, nothing we're concerned about, but going to play it cautiously here at the beginning of spring training. But he's ahead of schedule with his throwing, the bullpens he's done up to this point. So we've got a long time, but he puts his this irritation at a very low level, but we're not taking any risks with anybody at this point. So you're not going to see Garcia on the mound for the next few days. So beyond that, we're in a great spot. Everybody's healthy, and we hope that all the position players come in a good spot too.
Where is this nerve irritation?
In his forearm, not up in the elbow, but the forearm.
Did he have any kind of issue with that last year?
I asked him. I talked to him about it. He's never had this before. And again, we think it's something that's going to clear up here real soon, and just being cautious.
Is that it? Or were there any other?
That's it. Yeah, that's it on the medical side. So, questions?
Who'd you watch today? Watch them all? Or are you focused on anyone in
No, today's not the day to evaluate, so I don't. I just catching up with everybody, seeing our coaching staff, players. Just good to see the group back together again. So for me, it's not about evaluating. I just want to see everybody come through healthy and feeling good, and I'm not interested in how they look today. So Bochy can do that.
Hey, on Kamar, I for some reason it's stuck in my head a little bit, like Wyatt's situation last year. I know pitchers to position players are a little bit different, but I think by the time Wyatt got here, there was significant momentum in the organization. But there was opportunity for this guy on the big league roster. Kamar's got a touch of experience now already. I mean, is he in the same kind of situation that Wyatt was last year? I mean,
I think they're completely apples and oranges. I don't think we should compare Wyatt last year to where Kamar is this year. I think our pitching options are significantly different than where our outfield options were last year. So, and the minor league experience, Wyatt had some pretty, a good half season under his belt, so to speak.
Sure.
With Kamar, we are very excited about him. I think he has an opportunity to make our team, and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see where we come out of camp, where we are from a medical standpoint, who's healthy, how guys have thrown the ball. But he's certainly one that is in our plans. Can't tell you exactly how at this point.
So he's one of a few guys who, as you know, are coming off of Tommy John, didn't throw a lot last year. So how do you manage their agents?
Yeah, he has a significant workload in the past that we're confident we can push towards. We may not exceed what he's done in the past, whether it's been in college, but we'll manage that as we go. We'll manage it as we go. It's a good problem to have. A healthy Kamar Rocker, a healthy Jacob deGrom, all these guys healthy. It's great for our club. So our goal is to keep them healthy, make sure that they have strong, complete seasons, and we'll manage it as we go. We've got a lot of different ways of doing that, but one of the ways is going to be having a lot of different arms who can contribute, and we think we've done that.
Well, Jacob, hasn't thrown 200 innings in 6 years. I'm not saying he's about 3,200, but he and Malley would seem to be a little bit different category, a higher level than Kamar on the innings.
Well, you can set the inning totals in. I'll leave it to you.
No, like Kamar's 120.
Yeah. I mean, but I think if we I don't know what the need is going to be. His performance may dictate some of that, but I think that we're not looking at like capping him at 50 or 60 innings, Jeff. I mean, this is something that 120 innings is a lot of innings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of the season. So we'll figure it out as we go. I can't tell you if he's in the rotation all year, then obviously we're gonna have to scale him back. If he's not, so there's just a long way to go with it. I think you're getting ahead of me.
Hey, one way to, like, that I thought about that you could potentially marshal out innings, right? When you talk about Malley and you talk about Kumar and even Jacob, would be the old every spring, hey, what do you guys think about a possible 6-man rotation question? Is there any thought that you could play around with that?
We haven't had that discussion. I think with the off days and 6-man rotation helps the rotation. It hurts the bullpen. It's one less arm in the bullpen. So I think it's something we're open to. I think more than likely having spot starters here and there, guys who either AAA getting called up for spot start or guys moving from the bullpen to spot start, and maybe potentially shuffling guys through the bullpen and the rotation, depending on what the personnel looks like. But we'll have to see how we come out of camp and where we are.
Have you guys, since you signed Chris Martin, there was still some time left in the offseason. Right now, I think the general consensus is he has some experience at the end of games, that he would be a real option for you in the 9th inning. Have you had any further conversation with him about, how to approach what a role might be or any of that?
I have not, but we will as we get a little deeper in spring, as we look at our situation in the bullpen. We got some open spots down there, including in the high leverage situation, and it can be by committee. These guys have all pitched in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Yeah, he's an option, but he's a good option too. Earlier, we're gonna be looking at the teams we're playing, the pockets that they have, that we might want to get the matchups we want. So, by no means are we getting locked in on any roles right now. Right, I think we're going to stay flexible with that.
How hard is that to do? How hard is it to maintain the idea like everybody stay flexible? You've got so much experience with bullpens.
Yeah.
You know how much guys like roles and knowing
right.
how to prepare.
I think in just early go here and knowing these guys, they're fine with not having a defined role. They're used to it, including Chris. He's pitching the 7th, 8th inning. He hasn't really been a closer. So I think they all have the great attitude is, hey, we're there to get outs and use us where you need us to help win a ball game. And that's how that works. Now, if you get some guys that just have a hard time with that and they want that defined role, now you're going to run into some problems there. Now, I don't see that happening with this bullpen.
Is the best route for Jack Leiter to make this club via a relief role?
I mean, we've viewed Jack as a starter, so I think he's got a great opportunity to come in and potentially win a job as a starter. And if it's not as a starter, there's a chance that it's in the bullpen. But no, we've developed Jack as a starter. He was the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year as a starting pitcher. I think we see him as a starting pitcher, and I think we have confidence he can contribute to our team as a starter. So I think that's not. We're looking at him in that role. We're going to build up his innings, and his performance will dictate, where he lands.
You will need a couple of guys who can go 2-3 innings out of the sheet, though, right? I mean, you're going to need more than one option.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we will, yes, and we have very good multi-inning options, and we have guys that could slide into those roles. We also have guys that can be starting pitchers as well. So all to be determined. Like day one of camp, it's just so hard to determine what's going to happen, what's going to transpire, and what we're going to look like in 45 days.
You know how much we love answers.
I know. You're waiting on that opening day pitcher too, right?
Yeah, you got one?
So beyond the core rotation guys, how do you feel about the depth, like with Teodo and Acker and Brian Garcia, even when he was at camp, very cold? How do you feel with that group?
Yeah, every year guys step up. You can't necessarily predict who they're going to be, but I feel like we have very good arms in our organization, and there's great opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. I think right now on paper, you say we have maybe 3 bullpen jobs open. There's some competition in the rotation. There's a lot of opportunity here, and it's important that as we go over the course of the season that we do a good job of continuing to develop our pitchers so that Bochy has good options. We're going to have guys go down. Every team does, and guys step up. And sometimes you look at I was talking with another GM who built a very good bullpen last year, and he was talking about going to spring training with a group of guys that last year none of them knew they were going to be on the team, and they established themselves as really good bullpen options. And I think it's just a perfect example of how it evolves over the course of the season, and we have really good arms in our organization, and there's great opportunity for these guys to step up and contribute, and that's what we're looking for these guys to do.
Maybe it's just me, but it seems like the pitcher that people know the least about is Tyler Malley, who was really good before his injury. He was making a lot of money this year. I don't want to say he's been overlooked, maybe overlooked by fans or us, but how about you guys? So where is he right now after that shoulder?
Yeah, Tyler's got a clean bill of health, no restrictions or limitations coming into camp. We saw a little bit of him last year, and he looked very good, and then we had to shut him down with the shoulder soreness. We're excited. We're counting on Tyler. We need him, and a healthy Tyler Malley is a really good major league player. So we need him, and we're banking on him, and we're hopeful that we're going to see the good version of him.
I thought flies, under the radar a little bit because it's a minor league deal, but I thought both Chavez and Schwaga, you know what I'm talking about.
JT?
Yeah, they've both been effective relievers the last couple
Yep.
years. In Schwaga's case, his numbers the last 3 years are as good as anybody. He's had a little bit of a problem staying healthy. What do you look at in terms of those 2 deals in particular?
Again, just continuing to build the competition in camp. As I said, we have multiple bullpen spots open. We hope everybody stays healthy. We have no idea with the guys that are on the team who we may lose. We hope nobody, but creating as many good options as possible so that at the end of camp, we go into the season with guys that we feel very confident in. And JT and Jesse both have great track records as successful major league players. So, we're excited to have them in camp, and they both have an opportunity to make our club.
Are there more guys for you to add on minor league deals?
Yeah, absolutely. We're keeping an open mind. Again, we want to continue to find as many options as possible, create as much competition as possible. And especially with some of these guys with proven major league track records, there's still a lot of guys out there, and we're engaged.
Yeah, that's, to me, it's a little bit. Maybe everybody says this every year, but it seems surprising that there's still a decent pool of pitchers.
Yeah, and Evan, I look at our opportunity here. I think there's a really good opportunity for players to come and potentially pitch for a winning organization that has open opportunity. So I think it's a very appealing spot for some non-roster guys right now.
What about 40 million guys? Big league contracts still open-minded?
We'll remain open. Not necessarily anything on the horizon right now with that, but we'll always remain open and see if there's an opportunity to significantly improve our club. It's my job.
Okay.
What do you got to say?
I'm about to go on a Zoom and talk about ABS is what I'm going to talk about. All the major league managers.
You talking with the other managers?
Yeah. No, with MLB.
How do you feel about ABS?
You know what? I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. I've seen it on the minor league side, and it seems like it's created interest in the game, and it goes pretty quick. I mean, you have to challenge right away. It's the pitcher, the batter, and the catcher are the 3 that can challenge this, and I think it's created interest with the fans. They have fun with it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it.
Did you lobby to have it here?
I think it's in 28 ballparks. I mean, I think it's, yes, one, I mean, not just from ABS, but the technology is stuff we use to evaluate players that helps us understand where guys are. And so to have that in our stadium is great for us. So yes, we want that technology now that we can participate in the trial this spring. I think it's great for, for our organization, for the Royals.
We got in, I think, is it 3 or 4 parks in here?
It's in all the 2-team parks. I think 28 of our 33 games this spring.
Okay.
28 of 33?
Yeah. All the ballparks with 2 teams.
And you're going to encourage your guy. How are you going to approach that?
I'll leave it to Bochy.
Yeah, we'll talk to them if they think, he didn't make the correct call. We're going to challenge it. We want them to, so, it'd be trial by error. You'll learn to trust certain guys. Some guys you go, okay, wait a minute. I think we'll go, have that little period there of just, getting a good feel of, how they read pitches. 'Cause it's not that easy sometimes for hitters. A lot of times they don't think it's a strike. So, but we will encourage them. If they don't feel it's a strike, pitcher or the hitter or catcher, let's challenge it.
So the catcher can challenge too.
Yeah.
But there's no limit on challenges, is there?
Yeah.
There is?
2. Yeah. If you keep winning, you keep them.
Stay hot. And there's everybody should be on time for the full squad work.
Yeah,
There's
no issues as far as we
Everybody's
know. Yeah, everybody's healthy. No issues as far as we know with guys getting into the country. Some of the guys stayed here through the off season, so we're in a really good spot. I think that looking at where we were last year and some of the medical restrictions we had coming into camp, we are in such a better place, and I'm really excited that we can hit the ground running. Bochy and his staff have done a tremendous job of staying engaged with our players through the off season, really monitoring their work, being very intentional with the things that they needed to focus on. I'm proud of our players. These guys have worked their tails off. They all seem to be in great shape. I know that sounds a little cliche, but we have the communication and we have video and personal visits that we've gone to see guys. I mean, these guys are really motivated, and I'm excited. I'm excited for our fans. This has the makings of what could be a fun season, and we got to work hard here in Arizona and make sure that we come out of it in a good spot and ready to hit the ground running opening day.
So in hindsight, was the playoff run and the shortened off season a bigger factor than you guys initially thought it was going to be?
It wasn't for me. Bochy can speak to it. He's had more experience with it.
Yeah. I don't. No, it didn't. Surprise me. With the short off season and dealing with probably a couple things that you have to deal with when you have a long season, and particularly I'll just mention like Jonah, and we grinded him pretty hard, and maybe it caught up with us a little bit, but we came out of shoe playing well. That's the thing that I was proud of, because that was a little concern. And then you're going to have that period where, okay, you've lost a hoopla and everything, and we talked about that, and that's kind of when we hit our funk there. And it wasn't a case, I think, a guy's tired. I felt like we rested them and everything, but it just shows you how many things have to go well to win a championship, and you guys have to have your normal years. You have to stay healthy. That didn't happen when you look at losing Carter and Josh Young. I mean, it's a quarter of our offense there that we're going to provide a lot. So that's again just a reminder how tough it is to win a championship.
And just to elaborate on that too, I mean, we lost Adolis Garcia in the World Series in 2023. Significant injury that carried into the offseason, limited his ability to train. And then Corey had surgery. We came into spring training. Nate Lowe had an oblique injury. I mean, there were just a number of things that we were definitely behind. And still with that, we came out of the chute okay last year. when we lost Evan and Josh Young, it really started to catch up to us, and then eventually the pitching thinned out too. So we're in a great spot right now. This roster's deep. And as I said, the guys have done a tremendous job of preparing for camp, and now it's our job to keep them on the field and have a good spring training.
Hey, last thing for me, just to go back to where I started, but you know, we've talked about Garcia and we've talked about Martin as guys who are capable in
Yeah.
the ninth, and Bochy, you've talked about pockets, and is there anybody else that should be like thrown into that mix that maybe hasn't been mentioned? Is there anybody else you think?
There's a few guys, and I hate to mention one and not mention some others because they're in camp trying to make the team. So they read the press, and so you have to be a little.
Nobody reads it.
But I think guys that
Well,
are
your stuff. But no, I'm kidding.
guys that are on roster. Sean Armstrong was a leverage arm for Tampa 2 years ago. He had a down year last year, but 2 years ago he was a very successful leverage arm. He's got leverage experience. Jacob Webb for Baltimore. We signed these guys for a reason, and these guys are all capable of pitching meaningful innings in close games. And Evan, to your earlier question, I think Boch answered it perfectly, that these guys haven't necessarily had defined roles. So they are prepared, they're ready, and they'll do what's asked. And they're all capable of getting 3 outs at any point in the game.